evening, freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we're going to be diving into the upcoming Aries full moon energies and just tapping into the new cycle that's going to be coming into play. This new cycle of release, letting go, so we can prepare for those new energies coming in that will wrap up a very long-term eclipse cycle that began way back in April earlier this year and is now going to be coming to a culmination with that new moon in Scorpio on the 25th of October with a solar eclipse. So a lot of things that weren't seen before coming to light in this period. And there's definitely this illumination energy that is in play, but we have to take the good with the bad, all right? Some things might not always be the easiest to see and take in once the lights turn on in the room, but at the same time, the light is building. So that's something to celebrate, and at least we know what we're working with as we close out the month of October. So very important month in play. And this full moon is an important full moon as well. We have the whole Mars-Venus dance going on, all right? We are going to have Mars going retrograde at the tail end of this month of October, I believe on October 30th, okay? Right as we just had Pluto go, forward motion. So it's interesting, this dance happening with Scorpio's rulers, okay? So it's like Pluto's going to go forward, but Mars is going to go in reverse, all right? And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, right? You have to remember with Pluto, we're really talking about stepping out of the shadow and into the light. And because of this, there's a need for us to approach the overcoming of these challenges of the past with strength, right? I want you to think of that strength tarot card, right? It very much has that energy of Aesop's fables, pulling the thorn from the lion's paw. That's what we're doing. We're pulling the thorn from the lion's paw. And what does the lion represent? The lion represents courage, okay? So where does lack of courage stem from? Lack of courage stems from fear. And fear is the thorn that's in the lion's paw. We need to pull the fear out. Do you pull out fear with more aggression, with more assertion, with more anger? Or do you temper it? Do you temper it with more gentleness, receptivity, softening, right? So that's why we're going to do this reverse Mars action. It's not a good time to charge ahead, right? We need to have this moment of really holding this reverent space for the work we've done and also take advantage of the blessings on offer with that light coming in, with truth being revealed. This is a big time for healing in relationships, with Aries opposite Venus. All right. It's so, so important to find this balancing point right now. And again, I've been having this come up so much in my readings recently about this liminal space, the space in between the two polarities, the two extremes, okay? And it's definitely coming in within our relationships. We're finding the center balancing point. We're coming into that place of balance. And, it's also going to involve allowing some towers to fall. It's going to involve, looking at some stuff that's not the easiest to look at, not only in our relationships and our general life circumstances, but most importantly within ourselves. And I really got like this strong music download coming in for the collective, Aretha Franklin's Chain of Fools, man. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You can't free someone who reveres their chains, right? You can't. And we don't realize how much we're invested in our chains, how much we're invested in the things that actually bind us to identities that we outgrew a long time ago. And that's what we're being given the opportunity to do right now. We're being given the opportunity to free ourselves from mental slavery, because these are where our limitations are. They're in our minds, they're in our perceptions, they're in our stuck belief patterns, our dogmas, the things we need to let go, the things we need to release to be able to look at things in a fresh way. And this absolutely has to do with our relating, because we can't be up in our heads when it comes to matters of the heart. We need to be able to drop into our heart center. And when we're looking at Aries opposite Venus, we're looking at our relationships being a mirror, a direct mirror, a very clear mirror for us to see exactly what's coming up for healing within us. So we're really be given a wonderful opportunity with this full moon coming in to close out this cycle in a beautiful way, where even in cases where there needs to be a walking away, it can be done so with dignity and with peace and with healing and with hope in the heart that the light's going to shine again. That beneficial aspect coming in that regard is coming in from the fixed star Alpheratz, which is in the head of the constellation Andromeda. And Andromeda is also known as the chained woman. And that's what we're doing. We're freeing ourselves from our chains. And a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And if you want to look at where the weakest link is, you need to go no further than look in the mirror. And when I'm saying looking in the mirror, I'm saying not only looking at yourself, but looking at yourself through the eyes of others and the reflection of our relationships. All right. So we're really doing a lot of unraveling, but this cycle requires us to be patient. Okay. To be patient. The moon is sextile Saturn, and it promises us that if we can stay out of impulsiveness, if we can stay out of reactiveness, and if we can exercise a little emotional maturity as we move through situations, to take the high road, even when it may be tempting to hit below the belt, then we'll see things working out in our favor. There's opportunity to come to a place of peaceful resolution and win-win situations. And we definitely have that with that Alpheratz fixed star playing such a starring role in this astrology as we head toward that full moon, because that star carries the blessing energy of both Venus and Jupiter. Okay, so a lot of people are going to have kind of a beneficial aspect of Uranus coming forward. We have Saturn square Uranus in the mix. In fact, it's in the tightest orb that it's been in since back in December of 2021. Okay, so think about what was going on back then, back in December last year. You know, where were you at? What were you grappling with? You know, what was happening in your life? You may find a surprising twist with this energy, with that blessing star, you know, coming into the mix. It's almost like maybe it's the best thing that could have happened to you, even though it felt like the worst thing at the time. You know, you're going to see what's on the other side of that. You're going to see that star shining through. That's what we're really going to be looking at here. It's a really, really cool energy in the mix. You know, with that Aries opposite Venus, we, of course, are going to have, you know, romances in the mix, and we're definitely going to have the fires of passion stoked too. I mean, people are really going to want to hook up. They're going to want to go for a little bit of that sexual healing. You know, people are wanting to connect. It's, you know, we're heading into cuffing season, all of that. But we're also being asked to use that wisdom of Saturn to sort of like temper the appetite, so to speak, temper the appetite. You know, don't do anything impulsively and don't do anything reckless. Don't do anything where you know that you're operating out of your lower nature, you know. Make some wise choices for yourself. And I think Ted's wanting to go out to go to the bathroom. Let me let him out for a moment. All right. Yeah, you might need to step out for a moment if you're, you know, if the passions are getting too stirred up and maybe you're about to do something stupid, you know, maybe you're about to go back to that person who's, you know, always kind of taking you for a ride and left you hung out to dry when all is said and done. You know, be careful about, you know, who you're sharing your energy with at this time, because this is a long-term influence with that Aries opposite Venus, all right? The Sun-Venus conjunction is not going to be exact until October 22nd. So this is really going to be playing out kind of long-term for us, and will set the tone moving forward into the new cycle, all right? Be wise, you know? Have fun, you know, flirt. Open yourself up to new possibilities, especially if you're single and you're ready to mingle. Like, invite the energy in, play with it, okay? But also know when you're, you know, just feeling lonely, when you're just wanting to connect, when it's just your appetites driving you, and when you might make some dumbass choices, you know, because you're falling back into old patterns. Also, be careful about, you know, falling back on vices to sort of like fill the void. You know, you don't want to be in a position where you're doing things like that, you know, turning to, you know, turn into little heavies and Doritos at night to like fill up the emptiness inside, or, you know, getting wasted and disconnecting by, you know, hitting the bar, or, you know, just abusing anything to the point where it's disconnecting you from your experience. It's really important that, you know, we stay aware as we move through this cycle. Very much so, very much so. And even more so because we have to factor in, you know, the play of the precession of the equinoxes. Actually, you know, this moon is energy is all locked up in the constellation of Pisces, okay? Not necessarily Aries. That Pisces energy is still there. So we got that amplification of that Jupiter energy too, but we also have the Neptune, which can feed, you know, addictive tendencies. So we want to be mindful of these things as we're moving through the cycle. And otherwise, you know, it looks really good. It looks really good for us. We can definitely, you know, pull off something wonderful if we're willing to do the work, if we're willing to listen to others, not just with the desire to, you know, get in our few words, or to have a comeback, but actually coming from a place of understanding, really wanting to understand where the other is at, and understanding that in understanding others, we also get to understand ourselves better as well. And that's what it's all about. But we definitely have big bless up energy in play. A lot of people are going to be coming into their element. A lot of people are really aligning with their purpose. They have a very clear direction for where they want to go. And if you don't know right now, as we head closer to that solar eclipse on the 25th, it's going to become more and more clear for you. Prosperity is looking really good. You know, if you're putting your energy out there, if you're following your heart, and that's really kind of the key in order to really benefit from the abundance coming in. You have to be aligned with your fuck yes. You need to be aligned with that thing that really excites you. Okay. So don't just stick with the drudgery, you know, work with that Uranus energy to, you know, do something unpredictable. Actually go after what would give you true happiness. What a concept. Okay. I'm going to let Ted back in here. Come on, Teddy. Ooh, there's some rain out there right now, and it's cold, you know? You might be letting somebody out from the cold collective, okay? There might have been somebody you had out in the cold, and you're gonna like let them come back in and just hear them out, hear what they have to say, all right? You're gonna be having a lot of these conversations, and it's not just with lovers, it's not just with that ex, it's not just with the people that you've made sweet music with between the sheets. It's also, you know, going to be with friends, family, okay? So anybody that you share close connection with. And I want to get into a card reading here. I am going to do a reading for each of the 12 signs just to help you align with the energy of this particular cycle with this full moon. And I will be doing those over the next couple of days as we lead up to that full moon on October 9th. All right. It's going to be October 9th during the afternoon, though. So if you want to do anything, you know, a little witchy, if you're wanting to do any kind of manifestation work, if you want to make your moon water, or you know, just work with that lunar energy, definitely, you know, look to doing that on Saturday night. All right. Because it's actually going to be full, like sometime like in the afternoon. It's like around 4:54 or something like that in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so if you want to do any of your fun stuff and you want to see the moon coming into her luminous glory, definitely look to Saturday for that. And I actually think that Saturday is when I'm going to do the community healing circle here. All right, I want to work with that energy, bring in some healing energy for the whole community here. Something I promised those who were going through Panchakarma with me. And I just want to extend it to the whole community. So if you'd like to drop in, do some meditation, get led through some guided meditation, visualization work. I'm going to do some Reiki, some distance Reiki. And we're going to light a candle, set an intention together. So if you want to get your hands on a white glass votive, one of those tall pillars you can get, in the Mexican food section at your grocery store, that would be awesome. And yeah, we can all hold the energy together. It'd be kind of cool to call it in like that. And I am going to do it live. I decided I'm going to do it fully live. This video here is pre-recorded, but I am going to do the healing session live. I do want to be able to interact with you all and have you bring your energy in and have it just have that nice dynamic flow. There'll probably be times when I turn the comments off though, just so I can't see them and I'm not distracted, but I'm excited. I'm excited to do that. So hopefully you all will be able to make that. And I'll probably do it like later in the night. I'm thinking like maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock at night on Saturday night, Eastern Standard Time. All right. So that'll be 7 p.m. for those of you on the West Coast. And I'll be sure to put up previous, announcements so you'll know when that's coming in. But I wanted to bring that in for all of you with the full moon energy and just give us all a bunch of support for moving forward and hold that space as a community. Okay. So when I bring in the signs with this reading, this collective reading, it's any strong placement in the chart. Okay. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node. All right. And we're going to go ahead and throw Mercury, Mars in the mix just because of what's been going on with the astrology. It does factor in. And let's have a look at what's coming in for the collective with this full moon in Aries. What do we need to be aware of? Okay, well, one of the things is coming out right off the bat. Ooh, we got some interesting things in the mix right off the bat. I want to go ahead and I'm working with my cards, my playing cards. It just felt like I just wanted to shoot straight from the hip with lots of lip, no filler, no bullshit. Just a straight shot, man. Sometimes I like to go to the playing cards for those purposes, all right? We see we got some help coming in from spirit right here, in particular from, I'm picking up Archangel Michael. This is, half of my deck is this Archangel deck. Half of the deck is made up of the hidden deck, which is all my shadow elements. So I pay attention if it's coming in the shadow or light. And we are definitely coming in with a light aspect here. And we see here that a lot of you have been really struggling with an ending. You know the ending needs to happen. You know you need to let it go with this Ace of Spades in reverse. You know you need to let that tower fall, but you're holding on. You're holding on. We need to look at why you're holding on, okay? Because we do have this cooperative energy here also coming in the light with the Six of Diamonds. And so the Six of Diamonds is about there's help, there's support. There's support in this. Now, for some of you, this may look like there's support in getting through this. If you're having a hard time letting go of a relationship, of a career path, of something that was very significant to you in your life and you're struggling with that, reach out to people, reach out to your community, or maybe go and, drop in for a counseling session, or even bring your voice into the healing circle that I do on Saturday. Bring it in. We're going to do some healing and transformation work together, but you got to let people in. There's this piece about taking the risk to open up, the piece to be a little bit more vulnerable, not be so guarded, let down some of the defenses, soften a little bit. And it's amazing how when you start to open up and you're like, man, I've really been struggling with something, that you find that others can resonate with you and you can form, community around that, in mutual support of each other, transcending these things that are kind of have you weighed down. So you can lighten up. We want to travel forward light. We don't want to drag a bunch of baggage behind us in this next cycle, because we are all starting at the 0 point. We're all on that fool's journey. We are really coming to the end. It's like we're at that world card, right? We're closing up the old cycle. We're stepping on to a new timeline. Things are going to be very different from this point moving forward. You watch. Everything is shifting. And you're going to feel a lot of lightning energy coming in. It's not going to feel as heavy. We're not going to be slogging through it as much as we have been. You're going to see what's been on the other side of that work all along that you just couldn't see because it was all developing behind the scenes, you know? Sometimes to really level up in our lives, we have to be tested, okay? But there are some things that you know are not in alignment with you. You know there are some things that are holding you back. You know there's some chains that you need to break, you know? And again, there's that piece, like the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. So you need to have strength. You need to embody that strength. You need to be strong enough to know when it's time to let something go. Whether that be a relationship, whether that be a pursuit that you've been investing your time and energy in that's out of integrity for you, whether that's a bad habit, whether that's an addiction, whether it's a way of putting yourself down or sabotaging yourself, you know, you need to have the strength to be able to let these things go and not turn to them for a false source of stability and comfort. It's an illusion. We have an opportunity to build real stability, you know, real stability, but it starts within us. We got to make ourselves sound, and we need to have a real look, you know, in the reflection of our relationships, how we're showing up in our relationships and what that says about us. And if we're wanting something more, and if we're really wanting to connect with other people, on what level are we wanting to connect with them? You know, think about it. And so there's a lot of need right now to understand that everybody's in a healing process, okay? We've all been working through some deep wounds with the Chiron and Aries, you know, cycle we've been going through. We've all been integrating the wound of the self. It's deep. It's deep. We've all been in this work together. And I hope you've been paying attention and noticing how people around you are leveling up. Let's please give credit where it's due. Can we please look more at the ways that people are growing, the ways that people are being more honest, the way people are starting to sweep their own side of the street. They're becoming more accountable. Sure, you can focus on, you know, who isn't getting the memo. But if you're really paying attention, if you look around, if you have your sights set in the right way, you'll see there's so many people doing healing work right now. There's so much community to be formed around this, and it's such a fucking awesome thing. It really is. So we have so much potential to heal right now. And all it requires is that we show up, that we start to show up in an unguarded way. So I see this message is twofold. You know, part of it is where a tower needs to fall, you know, there's help. There's help. You know, if you're having a hard time letting go, reach out, get support. You know, you might need that right now. You might need to feel more held by the people you're really close to. And maybe you don't want to go through this leg alone. Maybe it's better to kind of bring some dear friends into the mix, you know, to help remind you that there's still things to feel grateful for. There's still things to be happy about. And there's still hope, you know. And you can get through it. You get by with a little help from your friends, right? We'll all get by with a little help from our friends. And that's what it's about. It's about remembering our connections and the way they can be a source of strength. I also see this really as like, you know, spirit's got this. Don't worry, you know, where there needs to be healings in relationships, okay? Where there needs to be closure in relationships, where there needs to be reconciliatory energy to maybe come back together in relationships that weren't meant to end. You'll know the synchronicity is going to be coming on through. You know, Archangel Michael energy really strong coming through, helping to give us the strength to cut the cords that need to be cut, but also to feel safe in opening up our hearts while standing in our power and in our truth as we sort things out with our reflection, that other person across the table from us. So there's very beneficial energy here, beautiful energy. Here comes that Venus Jupiter energy to the tune of the 9 of hearts in the light. Okay, this is wish fulfillment. Okay, there are going to be reconciliations. It is going to happen. There are people that are going to choose to do the healing work within relationship. We've been on the journey of the individual, right? We've been doing our own personal shadow work. We've been integrating our own personal traumas. But now we're being given the opportunity in this cycle to up level it. Are you ready to work it out with the person who's your reflection? Are you ready to go on that journey of alchemy and transformation within relationship, where you move into the zone of partnership, where you move into this creative space together? But it requires that you move out of that fear space. It requires that you move out of that space of blame. It requires that you unravel the old story, that you don't keep going over old ground. We're meant to go into this new cycle traveling light. Light, beginner's mind, the student, everything brand new. Yeah, it's a leap, right? It's a leap. But then you have to ask yourself, how attached are you to your chains? How attached are you to your chains? Do you want to heal with this person? Do you want to grow with this person, whether it's a lover, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, whether it's with yourself? The relationship to yourself comes into play too. Your relationship to your self-care, your self-nurturing, your love and respect for yourself as a reflection of spirit. If you're missing that love inside, you're not being aligned with spirit. Because that is the love. Love is the spirit. And it's that gateway, that portal. Love is the book of love that opens us up to the knowledge of spirit, the guidance of spirit, the blessing of spirit. It's all inside of us. We all have that within us. And it's really about asking yourself, if you're ready to enter into love's temple. It sounds really deep, and it is. We're getting an opportunity to grow spiritually within our relationships. We're elevating the energy. For those who are ready for that journey, we're elevating the energy, where we can show up conscious in our relationships with each other, where we can stay out of activation. Instead, we can respond. We can lean into the uncomfortable places without personalizing where the other is at. We can understand that they're coming onto our path as an awakener to teach us something about ourselves, something we need to transform. And there's so much blessing around this, okay? I mean, wish fulfillment, King of Clubs energy, fire sign energy, all right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Big blessings coming in for you all, man. I really see that you've been doing this work. You've been doing this work. You've really been looking at the places that you've actually held yourself back in love by allowing yourself to be chained to old identities that you've actually outgrown. You discovered your weakest link. You've been transforming your addictions, your bad habits, the negative garbage you've fed yourself in your consciousness. You took out the fucking trash. You relieved yourself of those burdens that were put on you by other people, the filter they saw you through inaccurately. You reclaimed your own authority. You validate yourself now. You've really been doing a lot of fierce work, and it's very beautiful. And it's aligning you with that blessing energy. It's aligning you with that Jupiter, Venus energy. You're going to see so much growth and expansion in matters of the heart. You're really going to start to align with the path of heart now. And there's definitely, healing here. There's healing for you here in relationship. And there's somebody who wants to heal with you. You can turn this energy around. And for some of you, it involved you walking away from a relationship that you realized was not in alignment with the type of experience you want to have in connecting with another on a heart level. Some of you had to cut the cord on people who wanted to stay in their toxic habits, who didn't want to operate honestly with you, who weren't ready to go deep with you, who wanted to triangulate you, you know, put you in a third party situation, put you in competitive dynamics. And you decided, no, you know, I want to transcend this energy. But you also, you know, you did the work, man. You really leaned into the places inside of yourself where you understood the ways that you participate. So you took a step back. You took a step back and you didn't take it in. You didn't take it in. You know, you didn't take it in as a reflection of who you are. You more viewed it as an opportunity for who you are coming to be. And you realize, I am not that. I'm not in alignment with that anymore. That's not who I am anymore. And so some of you walked away from relationships and it was hard. I think that you struggled with letting go for a long time. There's like a blockage in the throat around this. Like I feel like there was communication that was withheld. There's things that, you know, you really needed to express that you didn't get to express. With some of you, this is like a closure piece coming in, creating that closure for yourself in those situations where you know it's really unhealthy and it's not wise to get yourself entangled in the dance again. Not wise to get yourself entangled in that, you know, that web of deceit. I feel like you had to really work through a lot of disillusionment. You know, I feel like there was a lot of game playing, a lot of manipulation in your situation. And I see you're overcoming this with the 6 of clubs. You know, this is success. You successfully completed a cycle that kept you in a place of lack, you know, kept you in these shadow dynamics, okay, of the third party energy, the triangulation. Some of you, the third party in your situation was an addiction, you know. Maybe you had trouble with drinking. Maybe you know, were addicted to some kind of drug. Maybe you found that you were like had a little bit of an addiction when it came to sex, you know, hooking up. You realized it was a way you were trying to fill some void in yourself, but it didn't really hit you on a soul level. And you're starting to realize that skimming the surface just isn't going to work for you anymore. I feel like you're really overcoming this energy and you're starting to understand the way that this like triangulation also has kept you from going to that deep place, the way that it kept you safe. It kept you in this kind of cloistered sort of cloying comfort that actually really insults your spirit, you know, insults your spirit. Fire energy. I mean, you're all about transformation, the fire test of truth, man, walking through the fire to get to, you know, the purity of what's real at the end of the day. And I think you got really tired of artifice. You got really tired of superficiality and you decided to throw that to the side. You know, this is coming through, even if you're not a fire sign, but it's definitely like really strong message for Fire Collective. But we all have fire inside. We all have an ability to wield our fire. Fire is that place inside of us that's aligned with our passion and purpose. And what we're really beginning to realize collectively is like, if I'm not passionate about it, if it's not like making me feel enthusiastic, making me feel alive again, if it's not lighting me up, I don't want to waste my time on that shit anymore. There's like more of an understanding of how time can be wasted, how it can just slip through your fingers and how valuable the moment is. And it's all we got. We got to take full use of what's available for us right now, you know, and enjoy life while we got it, not take it for granted. And I think you feel like you wasted a lot of time. You wasted a lot of time on this shit, but you also understand that you participated in it. You allowed it to be there. You stayed put in the third party dynamics. You kept opening the fridge at fucking midnight and, you know, eating the ice cream and the chips until you were in a food coma, you know? You went out and you partied and, you know, distracted yourself with one night stands. And it was because you were afraid. You were afraid of what you were feeling. It felt so big. You were afraid of falling into that ocean of emotion. But it's exactly there that you need to go to pluck the jewel. You know, the treasure is found in the depths. The sunken treasure is found in the depths. And I think you hit a point where you were ready to do that deep dive. You know, it took you getting real hurt first, right? With the 5 of spears. It's coming in the light, though. So it's like now you're at this place where you're understanding that the wound is where the light gets in. You're starting to connect more with the strength that you've gained as you pulled that thorn out of the lion's paw. You're starting to realize, hey, there's my courage. I have it. I have the courage to look at this stuff. I have the courage to be brave. I have the courage to heal. I have the courage to feel, to show up, to do this. I'm ready for this. And that's where, you know, you transform this need to have defenses, you know, with the 4 of diamonds, this need to protect yourself, to guard your heart, to keep everybody at arm's length, you know, because you didn't want anything to come and rock your sense of security. And you started to understand that in love there is no security. It's a free fall, man. It's a free fall, and sometimes the landing's rough. But we learn everything in the leap, even when we hit the ground with a thud. You know, sometimes we need to hit the ground with a thud to wake us the fuck up. You know, to wake us the fuck up, to make us realize that what we were chasing wasn't love at all. It was something that was just actually keeping us in that safe space where we felt like we had some measure of control. But where there's control, there's no love. So we got to break those chains, right? Coming in with this Queen of Diamonds in the shadow, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you know, right behind that in the shadow, Queen of Clubs, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Some of you fire signs were dealing with earth signs and you were really stuck in a very unhealthy cycle with this person. This person was your mirror. And bless it up, man. Bless it up, because this person reflected to you what you needed to heal. They gave you a gift. They gave you a gift. As hard as that may be to swallow, it's the truth. Without this person coming onto your path to awaken you, you would never have the opportunity to realize that you have been operating in a position of not being within your power. And it's because you went through this experience with this person that you woke the fuck up and you stepped into your power and you grew. Man, double for you if you got fire and earth placement strong in your chart. Okay. This is a big message coming on through, right? With the 6 of Hearts coming in the light, you know, it's about having compassion for these people that you've been challenged by, because they've been moving out of their old wounds. Like a lot of us have been working through our childhood wounds. It hasn't been pretty. Stuff we haven't looked at in a long, long time, stuff we've swept under the rug. So try to connect with that place. Like this person on the other side of me that I'm so fucking angry at, you know, they're going through the shit too, you know, their peace is true too. As hard as that is to, you know, look at and acknowledge. We each have our truth in a situation, right? There's 3 different versions of truth. There's your truth, my truth, and then there's, you know, somewhere in between. That's like the difference between little t truth. Little t truth is very objective, you know, it's like, it's all related to your own like viewpoint, where you're at. It's more ego-centered. Little t truth, which is what most people operate out of, is very egocentric. It's all about me. This is how I see things. And if you don't see it that way, then you're wrong. But that's not respecting another's truth. And it's not respecting absolute truth, big T truth, which is all things are somewhat true and somewhat false in equal measure, you know? And to find the way to truth, what is more true than just the pure, like open, receiving, unconditional love? And people don't understand unconditional love, right? They think that it means that you have to be happy about everything that goes down with someone and that you're constantly like in this place with like, you know, stars in your eyes and the butterflies in the stomach and everything is so wonderful and there's never any issues and it's just this pleasant Disney-like experience. And that's just not true. It's just not true. Life will never be like that, you know? It's flawed, it's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's awkward, you know. And it's just about acceptance. It's about accepting who people are. And yes, I'm not saying like people don't do us dirty and there's not stuff that goes wrong. You know, dishonesty causes a lot of problems. Lack of communication causes even more, right? But in this cycle, as we're moving through and coming out the other side, we're stepping more into the light, we're lightening our load, we're coming into this place of reconciliation in some cases and peaceful healing closures in others. You know, it's so important that we are mindful of our words. And if we're going to speak, that we speak from our hearts. And if you can't do that, then just listen, hold the tongue a bit, you know? This energy coming in real strong. I'm gonna look at the top of the deck energy here. Yeah, you know, 10 of Hearts in the shadow. As much as it's hard to let certain things go, it must be understood that it was an illusion. It was a fantasy. It may have looked like you're happily ever after, but it wasn't. It was more an opportunity for you to realize what's true for you and for you to align with what will really fulfill you and bring you happiness. And this ain't it. You know, if you build on a place of dishonesty, if you build on a place of deceit, then, you know, surely the house of cards is going to come falling down. There's no solidity. And that's not what you're building, right? You're wanting this. You're wanting this Two of Hearts. You're not wanting third party dynamics. I mean, I've been just like tapping in with the collective, talking to so many different people. Nobody wants this shit anymore. They're tired of the drama. Now, naturally, if you're in polyamory lifestyle, you're in a different boat, you know, and but still, even within your lifestyle, you know, you have certain non-negotiables you've come to about the kind of quality of connections you want to have, even if you're in conscious relationship with more than another person, you know, if you got 3 people, 4 people, whatever, you know. But a lot of you are really hungering for this. You're looking for the mirror. You're looking for that one other person who really gets you at a soul level. And you want to go deep. You want to go deep. You want to come into that alignment. And a lot of you are going to be coming into alignment with your soulmates. You are. It's coming in. But in order for it to come in with the 7 of diamonds here in the shadow, you have to stop investing your energy in where you know there's no growth. If the actions are not backing up the words, you got to stop investing your energy in these fruitless paths. Because all it will do is keep you in this place of hanging in the karmic balance, okay? And you really want to balance these energies out, all right? Because we want to break these chains with the 8 of Spears there, okay? 8 of Spades. You know? Coming up in the light, we have an opportunity to free ourselves from that mental slavery. These are the ties that bind. It's all of these, you know, old tapes we got running in our heads. You ever remember Generation Xers? You remember what would happen, you know, when the tape would get caught when you were playing it in your cassette player, and you pull it out and you got that tape and it's all crinkled and it's a big fucking mess. Like that's the collective right now. We have to wind that tape back in. We got to get all those little crinkled parts all smoothed out so we're not getting skips, you know. We're not getting skips and warbles in the music that's going to play. We want things to come into a harmonious balance, right? But it takes time, right? It takes patience, and it's frustrating, all right? That's like, it's so symbolic of the work we're doing, and we're doing it on ourselves first. Like we're rewiring our consciousness. We're trying to smooth out those tapes that we run in our heads. So we're not like going over the same point, getting tripped up. And then that will reflect in our relationships. Okay. Look at this energy transforming. I see the earth sign energy. You're doing a lot of this work. Queen of Diamonds. Okay. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You're really doing a lot of this work. You've really been starting to question your thoughts, questioning the things you tell yourself, questioning the things that have been put on you. I see you releasing a lot of this negativity and coming into a place of being more mindful of how you talk to yourself, more mindful of what you take on as your own personal belief. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful thing. Shows a definite transformation of energy. I want to do a cut of the deck energy here. Yeah, we got 6 of hearts in the shadow. So a lot of this place where the unraveling of these negative, loops in relating, it comes from past relationships that were unhealthy, where there was an imbalance of power. Some of these relationships were even abusive, right? They affected your self-esteem, and there's been a lot of healing around this. You've done a lot of integration work around this. King of Diamonds, okay? We got the earth sign energy again. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn in the light, transforming this energy, getting to a place of healing. We see this coming in for the Queen of Clubs too, in the light, transforming this energy. Why? Because you recognized what was toxic. You recognized what was unhealthy in your relationships. And because you recognized what was toxic and unhealthy by taking personal accountability, you knew, I need to walk away from this with the 8 of hearts. I need to go toward the path of heart. I need to go toward what is in alignment with this healing work I've done, because I've changed. I've grown. And now I need to look at a more accurate reflection when I'm looking at that person across from me. I can't relate on this level anymore. Some of you actually revisited people from the past that you were in relationship with in the past, and you said, you know what? I can't connect with this person anymore. We're in a totally different place. We're not on the same page. You recognized it for what it was. 4 of hearts in the shadow. It was codependent. It was unhealthy. It was power dynamics. And because of that, you decided, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to extricate myself from this situation. I'm going to choose growth. I'm going to choose healing. I'm going to focus on nurturing myself, mind, body, spirit. And I'm going to come into alignment on a soul level. And I'm going to have that healing. And you left behind this drama. You left behind the fight and the struggle with the 5 of clubs. You realized that it was the fight that was keeping you tripped up. It was the fight that was keeping you chained to what no longer served you. Some of you got into really unhealthy, like competitive dynamics. And this very much could be related to like third party situations where you just felt like, I got to win. I need to be the one that's chosen. And you kind of got sucked into this dynamic. And at one point you took a look at that and you realized, I shouldn't have to fight for this. This should flow naturally. Like what's meant for me should just flow naturally. It doesn't mean it's always going to be perfect or it's always going to be easy, but there's a certain flow when you're in alignment, with your path. When something's meant for you, there's not this struggle. There's not this constant grappling with it. And so you began to realize that the way you were chained and stuck was because you kept engaging in this competitiveness. You kept engaging with the drama. And when you finally realized it, saw it, you let it go. And that's when your healing began. Okay. This could be in relation. Again, this is like earth sign energy. Okay. King of diamonds, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This was the shadow aspect you became very aware of. And for you, it might have been maybe you did some triangulation. Maybe you kept kind of going after somebody who was already in relationship, or maybe you were constantly being put in this position and you didn't value yourself enough yet. You didn't step into that emperor, empress energy yet. And because of that, you found yourself feeling insecure. And that caused you to kind of act out of character, act out of pocket, because you didn't feel secure enough inside yourself. All right. And here we finally, we got air sign collective coming in with the Jack of Spades. All right. In the light. Air sign collective, you've really been through a lot for a long time. And especially Libras, Libras really kicked off the beginning of this whole Pluto cycle way back when. So we've really been in the thick of it. Libras, I really see you stepping in the light. But it's not just Libra, it's air sign collective in general. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, you're really stepping into the light now, and you're getting your movement forward where you really felt blocked for a long time and stuck. You are moving forward, and you definitely are building more security for yourself with the Four of Diamonds coming in the light aspect. Okay, so you have a strong foundation. You really invested in yourself and you laid a strong foundation for yourself, and because that, it gets you moving. All right. And with this 10 of Pentacles energy and the 10 of Diamonds coming up in the shadow, it's because you recognize that you needed to start really building for yourself, investing in yourself, and not being so worried about building with another. And that it's by coming to that place of stability and strength within yourself that then you are so much in your own element and in your own energy that you're starting to vibrate at a different frequency that's going to start drawing a different kind of relationship to you. And this really opens things up for you. And yeah, I see you turned around this energy. This is the hidden card. It's the card I use for like the shadow, the subconscious stuff that gets in the way, that blocks the path. And it's coming in upside down. So I see you took that deep dive. You did your shadow work, and what was hidden has been revealed to you. And it was also a big part of you trusting your intuition that informed how you moved. And because of that, 3 of clubs in the light, you got your ships coming in, all right? And right behind that, 4 of clubs in the light, that's that 11-11 energy. It's time of celebration, it's homecoming, it's security, it's bless up, and it is a happy ending to this long drawn out chapter you have been through. And that opportunity is available to all of us, okay, with this 10 of Spades energy in the light, if we're willing to let go with grace. So don't force a fit. Don't fight the flow. Don't resist the towers that need to fall. And where there is opportunity for peaceful closure and healing, or maybe even in some cases, a coming back together on a new level of understanding and a willingness to really grow together. Say what you need to say, and be sure you listen to what others have to say to you. And where you once felt no fulfillment, you're going to find your cup is full, and you're going to finally see the beautiful opportunity that Spirit's been holding out to you all.